You're here at the Amani Center, and I'm going to take you through our morning 10-minute meditation. So get into a comfortable position, put everything aside that is around you, and make sure that you just have this open, private space. Give yourself the gift of this meditation this morning. So I invite you to take a breath and just inhale and exhale. Do this a few more times, knowing that this morning's meditation is truly a gift, a time of rest, a time to go inward, a time to just take a breath and find your way to that inner part of you that is safe and beautiful and has all of your inner qualities, your beautiful soul qualities. But taking another intentional breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Find yourself on a path. And as you walk on this path is of your own creation. It could be a beautiful glen in a forest. It could be on a beach or any place that you find peaceful. And on this path, you come into a space that is just filled with light. And in this space is your inner essence, your guidance. So if you have a question or are looking for the next step in your evolution, take this opportunity in this meditation to go within. That is always where your answers are. Go within, step into that light, and find that inner wisdom. Enjoy your meditation. we come to the end of this time of meditation, take a moment to come back into the body and keep in mind the insights, the intuitive awareness that you've received during this meditation. Know that that inner voice always has your best interest at heart, coming from a place of kindness and loving knowing of you. This is the time for you to take notice of what that peaceful, beautiful, powerful inner part of you has for you. It knows you. It is always with you. And it is there to guide you. So, taking another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, knowing that you are taken care of, knowing that Source and Spirit is always with you, as you, and through you. Thank you for taking the time this morning to join me in this meditative experience. And come back in about 10 minutes for service. Thank you again, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes. Namaste.
Thank you for that gong, and welcome to the Amani Center. Please stand wherever you are in your homes, on your patios, and join us for our opening song by our special musical guest today, Amy Bishop.
Here's a little song by India Ari. Back when I had a little, I thought that I needed a lot. A little was overrated, but a lot was a little too complicated. See, zero didn't satisfy me, a million didn't make me happy. That's when I learned the lesson that it's all about your perceptions. Hey, are you a papa or a superstar? So you act, so you feel, so you are. It's not about the size of your car, it's about the size of the faith in your heart. And there's hope, doesn't cost a thing to smile, don't have to pay to laugh. Better thank God for that. There's hope, doesn't cost a thing to smile, you don't have to pay to laugh. Better thank God for that. Out in the backcountry of Brazil, I met a young man who made me feel I could accomplish anything. You see, just like me, he wanted to sing. He had no windows and no doors. He lived a simple life and was extremely poor. On top of all of that, he had no eyesight, but that didn't keep him from seeing the light. He said, what's it like where you're living today? And all I did was complain, yes. Told me living here is paradise. He taught me paradise is in your mind. You know there's hope, doesn't cost a thing to smile, don't have to pay to laugh. Better thank God for that. There's hope, doesn't cost a thing to smile, you don't have to pay to laugh. Better thank God for that. There's hope, stand up for your rights, keep shining your light, show the world a smile. There's hope, stand up for your right, keep shining your light, show the world a smile. There's hope every time I turn on the TV, somebody's acting crazy. Well, if you let it, it will drive you crazy. So I'm taking back my power today. Gas prices, they keep on rising. Government may keep on lying, but we've got to keep on surviving, keep living the truth and do the best you can do, cause there's hope. Don't have to pay to laugh, better thank God for that. There's hope, doesn't cost a thing to smile, you don't have to pay to laugh, better thank God for that. There's hope, doesn't cost a thing to smile, don't have to pay to laugh, you'd better thank God for that. Cause there's hope, doesn't cost a thing to smile, don't have to pay to laugh, you'd better thank God for that.
Thank you, Amy. So wonderful to have you here with us at the Amani Center. My name is Marcy Mitchell. I am a practitioner here at the Amani Center, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to our Sunday experience. We are virtual this week, so coming to you via live stream on our YouTube and Facebook, and also some of you have gathered at the center to watch us in person and be in community. So welcome to everyone. We're so glad that you're here. I would like to especially welcome anyone who's here for the first time. If this is your first time joining our live stream, or if you're in the space and it's your first time being with us, just raise your hand, put a comment in the comments below on Facebook or YouTube, and just know that you are so welcome here at the Amani Center. We're going to start out by reading our vision statement. We'll bring it up on the screen for you so that you can read it aloud with us. So let's say it together. We are an inclusive spiritual community dedicated to raising consciousness and transforming lives. And that is something that we are passionate about here at the Amani Center, and we have many ways that we fulfill that vision. We have workshops, we have a lot of classes that are going to be starting next month. We have opportunities to gather in community on our patio, inside. We're here every Sunday for our Sunday experience. And we also have our Circle of Light, which is made up of our practitioners and our ministers. These are individuals who have been learning, praying in class for at least 4 years, learning how to do affirmative prayer with you and for you and know the truth of who you truly are. So what we love to do is to just offer this treatment to you as our gift. So you can comment below if you'd like someone to reach out. There's a box on Facebook to hit to reach out for treatment. You can email us at admin@theamanicenter.org. Go to our website, theamanicenter.org. Is that right, Kelly? Sorry. And you can also call us, 530-677-2300, and leave us a message. We will get back to you. It is our great joy, our honor, and just if there's something that is weighing heavy on your mind, something you're trying to bring in, then please reach out for treatment. That is why we're here, and we would love to do that for you. Okay, so now we're going to take a minute to go through our announcements and let you know some of the things that we have going on here at the Amani Center, starting with our schedule and our theme for the month of August. And this is the last Sunday in August, but our theme is Yes to Joy, Liberating Our Inner Child. And today our special guest speaker is Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson, and our special guest, musical guest, is Amy Bishop. So that's going to be a great Sunday. I'm so glad you joined us. They are amazing, and just prepare to be inspired, uplifted, and raise the vibration in your home, in your heart, and everyone that you encounter. Okay, we have this wonderful event for our teens that is scheduled for September 25th from 10 to 4. It is free and is brought to us by Hands and Hooves, which is a wonderful nonprofit right here in El Dorado Hills. And they bring the kids out to the ranch, and they get to interact with animals, they get to interact with nature, they get to really have some amazing experiences. And I will tell you that the Painted Sky Serenity Ranch is currently evacuated. All of the animals are safe, and the people are safe, and we know that Julie and Mary will be able to get back and bring their family back well in time for this event, and that they are well protected, and that this will still just be a wonderful place to be. So if you go to our website, theamanicenter.org, there is a link to sign up. It takes you right to a form to fill out, and jump in, because there are not a ton of spots for this. And again, it is no cost. And next week is, or this coming week, September 1st, is our next Wisdom Wednesday. And this one will be led by our friend and practitioner Kathy Wilson. It's free, it's open to everyone. We do it once a month on the patio if the air and the temperature cooperate, not too smoky. Otherwise, we'll come inside. It's a chance to be together midweek in ritual, in connection. There's music, and it's just a beautiful opportunity to connect during the middle of the week. So join us for that. And then coming up also is our Amani Fun Day. That's next Sunday, the September 5th. After service, we are bringing our kids in. So the younger kids will be taught this month, by Patsy Bunfill, who's an amazing teacher and author. And she's basing the program this month on her new book called Find Your Amazing Self. So that's going to be amazing. Anyone who's been here for any of Patsy's teachings before knows how wonderful she is. And then we'll do our potluck after service, our opportunity to all be together in community. You can sign up for what you would like to bring to the potluck on our website at theamanicenter.org. Just go to our Discover Center there, and there'll be a way to sign up and tell what you would like to bring. So please do show up and be in community with us. We have a few classes starting in September. September 8th, we have Rise and Speak, brought to us by our wonderful ministerial intern, Mitch Austin. craft and deliver messages of love, hope, and inspiration. So this is a wonderful class that we've talked about here before. It's going to begin on Wednesdays at 6:30. The first few classes will be at the center, and then they will be via Zoom, and then it culminates in a wonderful speaking performance that will be coming up on October 30th, and all will be invited to that as well. So there's only a couple spots left for this. Go to our website and sign up, theamanicenter.org. And we have another wonderful class starting, led by the wonderful Reverend Angie Gann. It is Spiritual Economics, and it is a Year 2 accredited course, open to everyone. Begins September 9th at 6:30 for 6 weeks, and that one will be via Zoom. We are doing that on a sliding scale, so you can pay between $90 and $120, whatever works for you. If you would like to apply for a scholarship based on volunteering here at the center, we are always looking for more volunteers, so just reach out. You can sign up for this also on our website. And just a review of our safety protocols. Some of the numbers have been rising, COVID numbers in our county, and so we are just reiterating to please wear a mask during the service anytime you are inside our space, over your nose and mouth. And stay home if you've been exposed to someone with COVID-19 or may have been exposed until you get a negative test. Or if you're just feeling sick, running a fever, coughing, sneezing, whatever it is, let's keep that at home too. We are here virtually every week, so you can still participate in the service without possibly exposing anybody else to whatever it is. You know, we all just want to stay healthy. Let's respect each other's spaces. We can elbow bump, we can bow. If you are a hugger and you know the other person's a hugger, just check in and make sure that it's okay. Some people may prefer not to hug for many reasons, so it's great to get permission before you're really getting in there too close to anybody. And many of us will be happy to receive that hug, and some would prefer not to, and that's okay too. So let's just respect each other that way and always act in the best interests of our community.
Hello, Amani Center. Mitch Austin here. We want to hear from the Amani Center people. We want to hear from you about what you enjoy about the Amani Center, what you would like to see for its future, and what we could do now to make the experience even better for you. So we have a little survey going around, and we're going to have a link on our website. We may even drop the link here in the Facebook stream. You're also going to see it go out in the newsletter, and we'd really like to hear from you, because building community starts with including community and crafting a vision that we can all put our arms around and begin to serve in a meaningful way. So we hope that you'll answer these 5 questions, only 5. They're easy, I promise, won't take much time at all, and it'll really help us create the most amazing community we can co-create, and it takes all of us. Thank you so much. Have a great service. Bye, everybody.
All right, now it is time for us to bless the service. So this is our opportunity to just get present. Put down whatever's in your lap. Sit up nice and straight in your chair with your feet flat on the floor. Allow your eyes to close if that feels comfortable, and I invite you to receive a cleansing breath in. And release it, becoming fully present in this instant, this very holy instant. We drop down into the wholeness of who we are, into the deeper knowingness of our absolute connection to the one power, the one energy, the one divine presence that runs in, as, and all, and through all things, all people, all animals, all situations. This energy, and we can call it God or the universe or spirit or the divine or nature or science. We can call it whatever we want, but it is everywhere present. It knows all. It is all loving, all connecting. It is truth and abundance. It is all good. And so knowing that it is serving us, connecting us, supporting us, informing us, we gratefully step into our role as the hands and feet of the divine, knowing that we are here to do the very, very good work of the divine. So I know that each and every one of us is open to the message as to what is ours to do. We are open to receiving information as to our purpose for being on the planet right now. We know that it is a sacred purpose, and we know that we are equipped and supported and ready to do it. Even when it feels scary, when it feels like too much, we just take that first step and know that we are supported. So I know each and every one of us is doing that right now. I know that this service is unfolding divinely. All of the messages, the inspiration, the music, the words, it comes perfectly. It comes through spirit directly to our speaker, our musician, our practitioner, our volunteers, our technology team, and to each and every one of you who are listening from wherever you are listening. You are lifted and gifted by what is unfolding now. And so I am so grateful for this truth. I am grateful for the Amani Center and everyone who shows up to support it and to help it do the good work that it is doing right now. I release my word into the law. I know that as I speak it, it is unfolding. It is done, and all is well. And together we say, and so it is. And now I'm going to turn it over to our practitioner of the day, Andy Gann, for our affirmation.
Thank you, Marcy. Today we'll do the affirmation 3 times. We'll do it the first time with energy and enthusiasm. The second time we'll bring it down into our hearts and speak it in a whisper. And the third time, if you would just join me mentally while I say it. Let us begin. I live and move as a being of immeasurable, profound, and celebratory joy. I live and move as a being of immeasurable, profound, and celebratory joy. I live and move as a being of immeasurable, profound, and celebratory joy. Today's affirmation was brought to us by Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson.
And now another song from the wonderful Amy Bishop.
This song is a beautiful song by Lisa Ferrero and Erica Luckett, inspired by the words of Maya Angelou. And I sang it this past Sunday at my own center in Calgary, and I just opened right up. And I just, I've been singing it ever since, so I thought I'd sing it for you today. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. The voice of God, the voice of God. You might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might might hear the voice of God. The voice of God, the voice of God. You might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. If you listen to yourself in the quietude, you might hear the voice of God. You might hear the voice of God.
And so going into meditation today, let's just take a moment to get centered in our seat, allowing our eyes to close, just getting cozy where we are, knowing that the chair is supporting us and there is nowhere else for us to be and nothing else for us to do but to be here now as we come together in unity and community to commune in fellowship and spirit as we recognize the divine self in each and every one of us, as we honor that divine self in each and every one of us, as we look around to our neighbors before us, behind us, on either side of us, and recognize within that person divinity, and knowing that that divine nature lives and breathes and moves and has its being within you as it does each and every one surrounding you. And so we recognize that and we celebrate that together in the celebratory joy from our affirmation. And we release this joy, we release this fellowship, knowing that we are all one, and we celebrate the fact that we are in this oneness together, and we bring that for our purpose for gathering together, and we take it out with us, and we take it into our meditation, and we feel the edge of our being, we feel where our neighbor begins and where we end, and we feel that space between us and experiment with what that feels like. So I invite you to do that through your meditation. Enjoy your meditation. And so we come back together into the divine healing as we recognize that we have two selves, two levels of being. We have our ordinary, everyday being that goes throughout our life, having our experiences. And then we have the divine being that is forever beyond the experience, observing each and every experience we have and yet removed from it at the same time. And so we know in this way that regardless of what may have happened in our lives, to our bodies, to our physical beings, that in reality we have never been harmed. Nothing can ever bring harm to us. As we go into that divine union with that divine self that's always there, always available, and we know that if it's there for us, it's there for everyone else around us. And so we call upon this higher self for everyone who may be going through the cauldron fire right now, or the Dixie fire, or any of the other fires going on around the planet, the floods happening, the earthquakes happening, all of the calamity that appears to be occurring, that it is all shift and change, and that collectively we are having a major change. Globally, we are having a major change, and with that change often comes a period of apparent chaos while things shift and the new can come about. And so we rest in the knowledge that this is what we're experiencing at this moment. And so we relax into that shift and that change. And we know that we will not be harmed. We set in the peace and the rest of that, the peace of mind that comes with the knowingness of that. And so we celebrate that, and we allow the change that's shifting and happening, and we ask for it to come in ease and grace. And so we see that everything calming, coming in ease and grace and simplicity, riding out the storm to the other side, and knowing that come what may, you have the strength and the tenacity and the endurance to build anew, to start again, to refresh and start completely fresh and all over if that's what you're called to do. And so you will move through this easily. And I am so grateful to see this truth for each and every one as my voice reaches out wherever you are to hear me. And I release my word, knowing that even as I speak it, it is already so, as together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Angie. And now another song by Amy Bishop.
When I walked through the doors, I sensed a presence, and I knew this was a place where love abounds. For this is a temple, the God we love abides here. For we are standing in a presence on holy ground. We are standing on holy ground, and I know the angels all around. Let us praise and raise love now, for we are standing in a presence on holy ground. In this presence, I know there is joy beyond all measure. And that love's peace of mind can still be found. For when we have a need, love is still the answer, yes. So let's reach out and claim it, for we are standing on holy ground. We are standing on holy ground, yes, on holy ground. And I know there are angels all around, 'cause I can feel them all around. Let us praise and let us raise love now, raise it anyhow. For we are standing in a presence on holy ground. Let us praise, let us raise love now, raise it anyhow. For we are standing in a presence, in a holy, wonderful presence. We are standing in a presence on holy ground, on holy ground, on holy ground. We're on holy ground with dogs barking and car alarms going off.
Thank you, Amy. Again, so wonderful to have you here with us. It is now my great pleasure and honor to introduce our speaker today, Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson. He is the Senior Minister for CSL Baltimore, for the Greater Baltimore area. He is an author, a visual artist, an ASL performing artist, and I've seen some of his work there. He's quite amazing. He's a Renaissance man. I second that, absolutely. And his mission is to live more and be an active member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, and emancipate people and communities to awaken and empower themselves through his service and through the transformative teaching technologies and practices of new thoughts. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson.
Namaste and greetings. Thank you, blessings, gratitude, all that good stuff to all of you at the Amani Center. It is such an honor and a pleasure to be able to be with you in this virtual world. Now, let's breathe, because it's time to dive in. You know, I only have a certain number of minutes to make sure that we cover all of the material that I want us to marinate in and enjoy and use as the invitation for our next level of expression and experiencing the divine. So today's title and theme is Yes to Joy, liberating our inner child. Now, if we're going to really receive the invitation of what this is saying, then there are a couple of questions and answers that we want to explore, such as, what does it mean to say yes? We say it pretty often, but do we really understand what saying yes means? Joy, what is it? We sing songs, joy to the world, but what exactly is joy? Joyful, joyful, what is joy is my question. And what does it mean, and why would I even want to liberate or experience my inner child? What is the significance of that? So let's start with saying yes. What is yes? Yes is an affirmative answer or decision. Affirmative prayer. What is affirmative? Affirmative is agreeing with or consenting to a statement or request. You get that? Agreeing to. It is being supportive. It is being hopeful. It is encouraging. So agreeing with or consenting to a statement or a request, a concept, a paradigm. Now, based on this, then, the invitation is to identify, what are we agreeing with? What are we consenting to? What are we supporting and encouraging? Well, what are we agreeing with? Are we agreeing with lack and scarcity, separation, discord, dis-ease, disharmony? What are we consenting to? Are we consenting to disrespect, covert narcissism, microaggressions, etc.? Well, what are we supporting and encouraging in our lives? Are we supporting and encouraging a belief, a paradigm, or a consciousness that has a separate and anthropomorphic God sitting on some cloud somewhere, ready to judge and condemn? Is that what we are supporting and encouraging in our lives? Are we supporting and encouraging poverty consciousness? What exactly is it that we are agreeing to, consenting to, encouraging and supporting within our lives? Because that's all saying yes. Now, then, okay, what is joy then? Joy is a feeling of great pleasure, satisfaction, and happiness. Okay, so where does joy originate? I mean, like, can I go to the corner store and buy a box of joy? Don't say anything about, dishwashing liquid. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about joy, joy. Can I go to the supermarket and buy a box of joy? Is joy some external thing? No. Joy is within us. Joy is us. We don't need anything external in order to have joy. In other words, there are times where people say, well, I'll worry about joy when I retire, or I'll be able to feel joy when the kids graduate and they go about their business, or I'll feel joy when I get my license to be a practitioner, or I'm an ordained minister, or I'm married, or I'm whatever, some external thing. Joy is what we are. So if it's already something we have, because joy has us, right? It's not something we even possess. It is us. That which is God is joyfulness in expression. And when it is incarnating and expressing itself in, through, and as us, then we are joy made flesh. But many of us don't realize that, and many of us forget that. So the thing is, what reminds us, what rekindles this within us? Maybe it's a sunset, an amazing piece of music, time spent with friends or family members, hearing a child laugh. Whatever that is, the invitation is to gift ourselves with that. Whatever that is, to gift ourselves with that as often as possible, to remind us that joy is right here, right now. Saying yes to joy. Okay. So then what is this whole idea of saying yes to joy so that my inner child is liberated? Like what is that whole? Okay, so pause for a moment. Let's breathe, because I've already covered a whole lot of stuff. So let's pause and breathe. I want us to think about a particular Bible passage, Matthew 18, 3 and 4, where it is said, "Truly I tell you," Jesus said, "unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Okay. Now, unless you change and become like children. Therefore, and he goes on to say, therefore, whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Now, in our teaching, we understand that heaven is a state of consciousness. This is why we say in our we believe statements, we believe that heaven is within, and we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. So this Bible passage said, therefore, whoever humbles themselves. Now, so what is humble? Because we always think of humble yourself, be lowly, be lowly. Don't be proud, don't be arrogant. The etymology of the word humble literally means grounded, humus, earth. Being humble is to be grounded, anchored and solid in your faith, in your truth. In our language, it would be like saying, we are not bound by precedent, but we are bound by, we abide by, we act on in principle. That's humility, to be grounded and anchored. Matthew 19:4 says, Yeshua said, let the little children come unto me. Do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven, this higher consciousness, the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. But wait a minute, Jesus. Why would it belong to them? Because this idea, now keep in mind, this passage or passages of the Bible are to be understood and received metaphorically, allegorically, and metaphysically. To be childlike is the invitation to be free from the baggage that adulthood typically carries with it. Adults are taught how to be cynical, doubters, worriers, and adherents to Murphy's Law. Well, what is Murphy's Law? If anything can go wrong, it will. We don't abide by Murphy's Law. We abide by the law of mind and action. So the law of mind and action and this idea of being children, being childlike, being innocent, being free of our baggage is this idea of understanding that in spirit, all things are possible. That which is the divine is infinite possibility and infinite potentiality, always, eternally. And what it is, each of us must be, because we are it in individualized form, incarnating itself in, through, and as us. Children trust. Do we trust? We are invited to trust. Children have hope and they dream and they play and they embody joy. They embody the freedom and the audacity to be whatever they are, however they are, in profound and unapologetic ways. That's why we are invited to liberate our inner child. Let that inner hope, dream, ability to play, ability to be silly, ability to have the audacity to trust in the infinite possibility of our lives, of spirit living itself as us. Because when we are willing to let that come forth, let that freedom rise within us, then it's easier to say yes. It's easier to feel joy because we are walking the walk in a more authentic and transparent manner. So pause, breathe, because here we are. How do we say yes when life seems to be saying no? How do we say yes to joy when tragedy arises? Pause and breathe. Because I know right now your community is experiencing exactly this concept, exactly this experience, exactly this challenge. So how do you say yes to joy? How do you have fun and play and be willing to dream and hope and encourage the possibilities when life seems to be saying, pause, breathe, sit, stop, no? So one of the most valued practices that I personally have been applying in my spiritual practice, spiritual ideas, spiritual concepts, is this idea that if I believe God, source, spirit is all there is, for example, then my body is a direct demonstration, a direct manifestation, incarnation, individualization of it. Which means I am given insight into the dynamic operation of spirit as I experience it in this body. For example, my body has a circulatory system and a rhythm. Blood circulates, breath ebbs and flows in a rhythm, the heart beats in a rhythm, and this in my form, in my physical body, is a direct demonstration of the laws of circulation, the laws of reciprocity, the laws of vibration, and the laws of rhythm. My body reminds me of the laws of spirit. So the invitation right now is to pause, breathe, breathe with the realization that you are not breathing yourself. You are surrendering to the intelligence of your body because your body is breathing. Right now, none of us are saying lungs expand, lungs contract, chest and abdomen rise, chest and abdomen fall, expand, contract. None of us are saying that because we would be too busy. We would be sitting in the car in traffic and all of a sudden forget to breathe and be like, oh, I forgot to breathe. I need to inhale. Let me come back. Right? So when we are doing what we are doing now, the body is breathing without us needing to micromanage or control it. So this also reminds us to be present in this moment, because we cannot rebreathe a breath from yesterday or a week ago or a year ago, and we cannot pre-breathe a breath for tomorrow or next week or next year. We can only breathe this breath now, this inhale and this exhale. A reminder to be present. And ultimately what this is pointing to is that the universe, life itself, there is only one life, and that life is God. And that life is present right here and right now. And that life is my life now, and that life is your life now. And itself, it is breathing itself as me and as each one of us right now. Spirit, source, God, the universe is breathing itself. This divine and holy ruach, as Ernest Holmes said, God in me, as me, is me. So there is nothing that we need to acquire to be more divine. There is nothing we need to do specifically to become more sacred, more worthy, more loved. So we pause and we breathe and we recognize that where this begins is as an inside job. So when life appears to say no, we return and say, but I choose yes. My mother made her transition last year, 2020, Father's Day, and there was a lot of drama and stuff surrounding it with family, etc. And grief happens, and mourning happens, and sadness and depression. And through all of that, what I learned is radical self-care, saying yes to the struggle and the pain and being present to it, while also knowing the truth of where I am, who I am, and what I am. And what comes to my mind is when Ernest Holmes said, there is a power for good in the universe, greater than you are, greater than I am, greater than all of us, a power for good that we can use in everyday life for everything. My understanding and my practice of this quote is pause and breathe. There is a power that is goodness itself. It is the universe. It is God in expression. It is vastness and encompasses this great magnitude that is greater than any of us individually, and yet is all of us. A circle whose circumference is nowhere, whose center is everywhere. This power, this infinite goodness, this infinite selfness is being used by us every day, right now, because what it is, we are. We can't help but to use it because there is only what it is. So today, in the midst of everything that is going on in the world, everything that is going on in your individual life, everything that is going on in your collective community, you have the ability, we have the ability to say yes to joy. Joy does not mean I am ignoring the grief, the mourning, the sadness. Joy says, I am supporting you while you navigate the sadness, the grief, the depression, the addiction, the trauma. Joy is there, ever present when we say yes to it. It is a declaration that says we are open and we are willing to feel, to experience, to express the bliss, the wonder, and the vibrancy of the infinite possibilities of life itself. And in doing so, we liberate. We are liberated. We are emancipated. As our Declaration of Principles says, we believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation, liberation, freedom from all discord of every nature, and that all are sure to attain this goal. When we liberate the inner child and the inner and the outer, as above, so below, as within, so without, when that becomes the dominant aspect of our lives and we are walking that walk, then we understand that we are Imagineers, that our imagination is a creative process. It is a spiritual practice, that when we engage in play, when we are free to dream, that we are dreaming the impossible. And from the impossible, we recognize that I manifest the possible. I am willing to allow my dreams to become reality, and I walk that walk. And because of this awareness, we act accordingly. We are known by treat and move your feet. We are known by how faith looks on our lives in action. We become the living embodiment of a world that works for all. And as a result, everyone that we see and everyone that sees us sees the face of God. Everyone that we hear and everyone who hears us hears the very voice, the very timbre, the very resonance of God, of spirit, of the universe. And everyone and everything that we touch, whether it is a hug, a handshake, a namaste, whether it is touching a box of cereal and then placing it back on the shelf, whatever we touch, we recognize that we are leaving an energetic fingerprint. Once again, remember, physical life is a demonstration of spiritual life, of spirit itself. So if I can leave a physical fingerprint, then I understand that I am also able to leave an energetic fingerprint, a soul print, a love print on anything and anyone that I touch, hug, see, hear, and anyone who touch, sees, hears me. In the same way that the woman said, if I can just reach and touch the hem of his garment, then I know that the resonant power of the universe will flow and I will be reminded of my wholeness, my completeness, and my perfection. So in this moment, we recognize that when we do this, when we live and move and have our beingness as liberation, when we move and live and have our beingness as joy, as freedom, as silliness and playfulness and imagination, then we are for real changing the very tapestry of life itself, that there is nowhere that the vibrations, that the ripples of consciousness will not touch. So that means when we do this practice, then the people in Afghanistan feel it. They are moved by it and changed by it. That the people in Russia and China and India and Africa and South America and the entire planet, for there is only one life and that life is God. And anything that happens within that expansiveness that is spirit must be happening to all of it. Is this not why Emma Lazarus said, none of us are free until we are all free? The moment I set myself free to play and be and know and walk the walk, the moment I elevate my mental equivalent and live, move, and have my beingness in accordance with my mental equivalent, all must level up as well. Automatically. It cannot happen within a vacuum. This is our practice. So anchor and ground and breathe. Say yes to joy, because saying yes to joy is saying yes to ourselves, saying yes to God, saying yes to spirit as it is living, moving, and having its beingness in, through, and as us in this moment now, demonstrating freedom, demonstrating this eternality, immortality, and continuity of the individual soul that is forever and ever expanding in this life, right here and right now. Breathe. You are good because you are infinite goodness. You are the goodness of the universe in individualized form. So I say yes to you. I say yes to your joy. I declare it and know it to such a degree that I recognize that you may not feel it today. You may not be able to say yes today, but I recognize and know that my yes, the yes of spirit, because there is no Raymond's voice that is separate from the infinite voice of God. There is only the one mind, God. So what is happening in the mind of God right now, because my mind is that one mind. Your mind is that one mind. What is happening now in the mind of God is fully formed and fully functioning. So as I know your yes, the mind of God says yes. The law of mind and action says yes. And your life changes to match that mental equivalent. I know this is what's going on. I know it. I declare it. I receive it. And I send it, knowing it is already answered prayer. Yes to joy. The inner child is free. And so it is. Namaste. Much love. Take care. See you again soon in person one day. Love you.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson, so much. That is just what we needed to hear. So grateful to have you here. Now it is our time for our joyful time of giving. And so I just want to remind you of several of the ways that you can reach out and support the Amani Center. We have a lot of digital ways, texting 44321. Texting the word Amani to 44321. There's a donate button on our newsletter, on our email blast, at theamanicenter.org. You can use your bank app and set up a recurring payment or a one-time payment that will come to us. And then also you can always mail us a check at the Amani Center, 2558 Greenwood Lane, Suite Number D in Cameron Park, California, 95682. There also should be a link that's dropping right now. You can look down on Facebook and you should see that link. That'll take you to a way to donate online. However you decide to give and support the Amani Center, we are just so grateful. Please know that literally we cannot do it without you. We have to pay our lease. We have to pay the people who speak, the music. There's a lot of expenses that are involved. We really have got things pretty tight, and we run a very tight ship. We don't waste money. Let me just tell you that, but we still need money to come in. So we're so grateful for whatever you decide to give. And I'm going to turn it over again to our practitioner of the day, Angie Gann, to do a little treatment around this.
And so once again, we come together, coming together in our sense of abundance, opulent wealth, abundance in all of its many forms, as it comes to us in abundance of love, friendship, fellowship, opportunities, physical wealth and health, all kinds of opulent abundance. We see that coming to us, and we know that as we give, we receive. And we know that you cannot outgive God. And so as we receive, we are blessed, and we are a blessing to others. We, too, are benefit from that blessing. And so we give from our hearts. We give knowing that all is well, and we know that we are contributing to the ongoing good of the Amani Center and its mission and vision and purpose. And so we support that with all that we have to give today, and we know that the center is growing and having new and more activities and opportunities for fellowship the children's program. We're growing in several ways. And so we want to fund and contribute to all of those areas so that we may continue to grow. And we are so grateful for that opportunity. And I release my word today knowing that even as I speak it, it is already done. As together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Angie. And now one more song by the wonderful Amy Bishop.
Well, I think I'm going to end on a happy note, or at least a boppy note. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of your service again, and I look forward to next time. I've got the power, and I love with all my might. I've got the power, and I'm bringing on the light. I've got the power, and all I've got to do is be. Oh, powerful, 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 powerful me. I got the power, and I get stronger every day. I've got the power, oh, it's in everything I say. I've got the power, and all I've got to do is be. Oh, powerful, 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 powerful me. You see that I can reach for the sky on phoenix wings. From the ashes I will fly. I cannot separate myself from the beauty that I see in powerful, 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 powerful me. I got the power, and I'm not keeping it inside. I've got the power, and my life's a crazy ride. I've got the shining on all humanity, yeah. From powerful, 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 powerful me. You see that I can take to the sky on phoenix wings. From the ashes I will fly. I cannot separate myself from the beauty that I see in powerful, 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 powerful me. I've got the power, well, I see you got it too. I got the power, it's in everything I do, yeah. I've got the power, I'm full of possibility. Oh, powerful, 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 powerful me. Thank you. I hope you have a lovely day.
Thank you so much, Amy. And I would like to take a moment to thank both Amy Bishop and Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson for coming and bringing their gifts to us today. We are greatly honored and really appreciate you being here. Also want to remind anyone who is struggling right now, particularly evacuees. We have plenty in our community, and just a couple blocks away at the Cameron Park CSD's evacuation center. We're here for you if you need support. Reach out for treatment. Come on Sunday. Everyone is welcome. We are non-denominational. We are open, and we'd love to see you. We did a pet blessing last Sunday, but you could bring your pet any Sunday, and we have people who will bless them. I know they're going through a lot too. So just remember, you're not alone, and we would love to be here for you and support you. Anyone who needs that. So do reach out. And now we will let Ascension lead us through our closing song, The Presence is Here. So please stand and sing with us.
The presence is here. The presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. Amen. The presence is here. And I will meet you in grace. And I will meet you in grace.
And so staying in this place of joy that we have created here as part of this service, and knowing that we are lifted and loved and held, and that good is unfolding in spite of how chaotic and crazy and sometimes frightening it looks. We are all supported. We are all on this path for good. And I am grateful to know we are connected. We are one, and all is well. Namaste, Amani.